So let me open Workbench. Okay, so let's go back to our slide. Yesterday we talked about a lot of things. So we talked about talking joins yesterday, talking about joins. So today we'll move further to subqueries. Let's pause our slide. So using subqueries to solve queries. Using subqueries to solve queries. Yeah. A lot of time you have to write subqueries. So after completing this test, you should be able to define subqueries, describe the types of problems that subqueries can solve, list the type of subqueries, write single row and multi-row subquery. So using a subquery to solve a problem. So who has a salary greater than A bills? Who has a salary greater than A bills salary? So each employee has salaries greater than A bills salary. Now, what is A bills salary? Then you need to know. That's a subquery. So which employee have salaries greater than A bills salary? Then, but you have to know what A bills salary is. It's going to be this is the main query. So which employees have salary greater than A bills salary? Then the subquery is that now before you can do this, you have to know who A bills salary the salary of A bills exactly. So look at this. I have a subquery syntax here. Select any, maybe you want to select star or what. Select some specific column from table. Now where expression, then maybe I click maybe salary equals to what, salary greater than any of, then it's a query inside. So I'm going to use this to solve this particular problem. Let's see something like that. So the subquery, which is the inner query, executes once before the main query, which is the outer query. So this goes what it do. The result of the subquery is used by the main query. So look at this now, as you can see. Select last name from employees where salary greater than, then you have a subquery. Select salary from employees where last name is equals to A bill. Now, let's be careful and be guided. Now, it's possible that this particular A bill, we said last name equals to A bill. It's possible in a particular company we have different, more than one employee that their last name is A bill. Now, if that's the result, then the salary here, this query here is going to return more than one result. So it means it's going to return the salary for, if you have 3 A bill, 3 people that their last name is A bill now, it returns 3 rows, that is 3 different salaries. Now, this operator is not going to work. But let us assume in this case scenario, we just have only one employee and the last name is A bill. So this query is going to work. You're going to have 11,000. So you say this query returns 11,000. So it just does a comparison Okay, so it's salary greater than 11,000. So this is going to select all the last name of employees that their salary is greater than 11,000. So that is that. But if it's a multiple row subquery whereby what this subquery is returning is more than a single row, then this is going to fail. I'm going to see multiple rows subquery as we go. So what are the guidelines for using subquery? Enclose subquery in parentheses, as you can see it here. Place subqueries on the right side of the comparison condition, obviously, at the right side of this guy. The other by clause in the subquery is not needed unless you are performing top end analysis. That's when you are doing a drop down. So use single row operator with single rows of query, and use multiple rows operator with multiple rows of query. So this is a single row operator which we are using with a single row of query. But we are going to see multiple row operator and multiple rows of query. So a single row operator greater than, less than, greater or equal to, these are single row operator. Now we are going to see multiple row operator as a procedure. So in terms of subquery, you have single row subquery and multiple row subquery. This returns, look at this, a subquery returns only one output, one row. A multiple row subquery returns more than one row. It can return 2, 3, 4, and so on. So look at single row operator that we have here, as I've said, equal to, greater than, greater equals to, less than equal to, not equal to. Now, executing single row subquery. Select this from employees where job ID equal to, select job ID from employees where employee ID is equal to 141. So in this case, we are comparing job ID. We want to select last name and job ID for our salary. From employees where job ID is, select job ID from employees. So we are comparing employees job ID for for an employee which has employee ID to be 141, and in this case which is St. Clark. And in this case you are comparing, and salary is actually select salary from employees where the employee ID is 143. So this one also returns one result which is 2006. So it compares when salary greater than 260. So this only returns the result when these two conditions are met. So when the job ID is St. Clark and the salary of the person is greater than 2006, then it returns the result. So you can see here, these are employees with job ID St. Clark and their salary greater than 2,600. Now using group functions in subquery. Now look at this. I need the last name, the job ID, salary from employees, where salary equals to, select minimum salary from employees. So I want to compare salary. So in this case, it's just like we want to see employees that are collecting the minimum salary, because you are comparing salary to the minimum salary in the employees table. So you want to see, like in this case, the practical case of this one is that, okay, I want to see those that are even earning the least pay in my organization, something like that. So this will help you do that. So let's do something like this in our workbench. This is our workbench. this case, okay, let me use the SQL HR database. Then okay, there's no job ID here. Let me move job ID. So let me say last name and salary. Or first name, last name and salary. First name, last name and salary. So let's run this. So this gives me Alastair Scutching 32,179. So this is the person that's collecting least pay in the organization. Alastair Scutching. So that is by the way. Moving on. Now the having clause with subqueries. Also, look at this now. You are told to select department ID, comma, minimum salary from employees. First of all, I want to go by department ID. So you are saying in this case, give me the minimum salary of employees by department. By department. Now you are not putting a constraint. Okay, having minimum salary greater than, select minimum salary from employees where department ID is equal to 50. So okay, we want to see having minimum salary here is saying that okay, if the minimum salary returned by this query is not greater than the minimum salary of employees in this particular department, then M to return it. So let's first of all implement this and you see what we are going to see. Let me go to our workbench. In this case, I will not be using the department ID because I don't have department ID in the employees table. I have office ID. So I'm using office ID. Then here, here, I also use office ID. Okay. Now let me on this so I can see. This does not return. The office ID is equal to, let me see, 4. Let me see. It's still didn't return anything. Okay, let me put 2. So we have this. So these are the these are the okay, let me use upside 5. I think upside 2 here is where that scooching belongs to. That guy with minimum salary. That's why we return every other thing except one. So let me use a minimum salary that is kind of greater. So let me use 5 as this idea. You can see 3, 4, 10, 11 was returned here. So good. To just compare, okay, the people here, let's see. So let's even see what this guy is going to return. The subquery you have here. Let's see what it's going to return. The minimum salary from employees where outside is equal to 5 is 47,354. So it's saying that okay, let's run this. So any salary here that is greater than 47,354, return it for me. So it's going to return this this, this, and this. That's 3, 4, 10, 11. So let's run it again and see 3, 4, 10, 11. So that's the whole idea of that query. So let's go back. So let's look at this. We're told to find what exactly is wrong with this query. Now select employee ID, command last name from employees. You're not saying where salary equals, then I say select minimum salary from employees, group by department ID. Now this inner query or subquery is going to return more than one row, but you are using a single row operator with it, then it is not going to work. Let's see, okay, what's the error here? Single row subquery returns more than one row because you are using a single row operator with it. So saying that this guy is the single row of subquery, because Oracle expects you that since you are using a single row operator, what should be the subquery should be a single row subquery. But it's not telling you your single row subquery is returning more than one row, so this is not going to work out. So in this case, you have to use what's called a multiple row operator. Yeah. So it's a single row operator with multiple rows of query. This is a single row operator, but you're using it with a multiple rows of query. Now, with this statement return rules, let's see. Select last name from a job ID from employees, get job ID is equal to this. Now it says select job ID from employees, where last name is equal to us. Now it depends. You are saying where job ID is equal to select job ID from employees, where last name is equal to us. It depends. You are using a single row operator, but with this guy, return a single row. It's going to return a single row. If yes, you're going to have a result. Is it going to return a multiple row? If yes, you're going to have an error. But is there any employee that has last name to be asked? If yes, if no, then this query is not going to return anything. Then here, job ID will not have anything to compare with. So there will be no row selected because subquery returns no value. So let's look at multiple rows of query. So these are the operators that works with multiple rows. In, any, all. But when you are using these operators, you are still going to use it along with all these single row operators. So for example, if you want to use any, for example now, you have to use like maybe you are saying where salary greater than any, then your subquery follows. What are you saying? What you are saying in essence that you can find the salary greater than any of the results I see in this subquery. Give me a result. When I say greater than all, then it's a different case. So let me illustrate. Let me see my whiteboard marker going to work. Let me show that my whiteboard marker is going to work out. It didn't want to work yesterday. Oh, it's still not working. Okay, I think it should work. Okay, so let me rub off this. So if I have a subquery, write a multiple operator, say greater than any. And what my subquery return is like the set of maybe 1, 2, 3. And I say maybe when office ID, for example. And I say where office ID greater than any of these. So let's say you have office ID 1. Office ID 1 is not greater than any of these. So no result for that one. No result for office ID 1. Office ID 2 is greater than 2. So it's going to return. Office ID 3 is greater than 1 and 2. It's going to return. Office ID 4 is greater than all of them. It's going to return. Since you can find at least one that is greater than, a row will return. But if I should rub this and say I want to put greater than all. So if the office ID I have is 1 to 10, so the only office ID that is greater than all of them is 4 to 10. So that is what that result, that query is going to return. So that's how this works. So you have to use all this operator with this multiple row operator. So let's go back to our slide. So you can see here, using the any operator, select employee ID last name, job ID, salary from employees, where salary less than any, then your subquery comes in there, and job ID not equals to IT program. So this subquery here returns these three results. Now, if the salary column, where salary, any salary that is less than any of these will be returned. So let's say 4,000. 4,000 is less than 4,002. It's less than every one of them. So anybody that's any 4,000 is going to be returned. But let's say 7,000. 7,000 is not less than this, not less than this, but it is less than this, is going to be returned. So let's say 10,000. 10,000 is not less than any of them, so it's not going to be returned in that case. So after you have done that comparison, it's going to do this too. Is the job ID of that person not equals to this? If it satisfies that, then return it. As you can see in this result, though it was 10 rows that were selected, so you can see that all of this salary here, they are less than any of this. Their job ID is not IT program. So that is how multiple rows of query works out. So also using the all operator. Now you are saying less than all, and job ID is not equals to IT program. So this one, the result is going to be different. Now look at, let's go back to this again. Here, okay. Here you can see 5,8 is not less than this, but because 5,8 is less than this, it was returned. But 3,1, for example, is less than all of them, so it will return. But you can find any one that is less than it, will still return it. Now, the other time you say less than all, you can see 5,8 that was here didn't appear here because it's not less than all of them. But if you see the row returned here, it's only 4 rows because these 4 rows, this 4 salary that was returned here is less than every one of them. So that's the all operator for you. And the in operator, how the in operator is just that, okay, let's go to our whiteboard. If I should do this, where office ID The in does not use, you cannot, you don't use all these ones with it. So let's say I say office ID in, and my subquery return this. So it's just going to return office ID that matches this. So office ID in this. So let's say we talk about the all no values. So let's look at this now. Select last name from employees. Where employee ID not in. Select manager dot select manager ID from employees. So if the employee ID is not in this manager ID that is returned, it does not match, then return. So it's like if this one returns manager ID, for example. Now if you can find any employee ID in this employee table that is not in this, then return their last name. But no row was selected because this couldn't find any match. It returns a null value. But let's do the same thing with our workbench. And I have one department table. Maybe I should have. I will load that table into my SQL. You can use that table in the next class. That one has department, and I think it's more flexible than the one I have before. So that will be the next class. So let's use our office ID to compare. So instead of manager ID here, I'll use report to. Okay. You didn't return any results. So first of all, as you can see in that case, you didn't get any result. Let's run this subquery. This is what this subquery returned. Okay. So we are looking at employees whereby their employee ID is not in this. So let's so let me see this very well. Okay. Let's run this. This just give me the last name here. So basically what this guy returns basically what it does is that, you know, it checks okay, what is this guy, what is this software, checks this. Now can I find, if I should run this, say where employee ID not in this, So whenever I find an employee ID not in this, it is returned. But because 3270 is an employee ID in the office table, in the employees table, it won't return any result because I can find an employee ID that exists here. So let's say employee ID. Yes. So this is, where is it again? 32720270. Because I can find this guy didn't return anything because I can find this guy in my inner query. So let's go back to our. So I believe you should learn how to identify when a query can help solve a question, how to write your queries when a query is based on unknown values. So you can do this. Let's look at set operators. Let's look at set operators. So after completing this objective, you should be able to describe set operators, use a set operator to combine multiple queries into a single query, control the order of rows returned. So we have union or intersect, minus. So tables used here is employees job history. Let me even use that table. Let me go and load that table now. So I'll put this in my DB. I'll use my DB to load that table. This is my table. So I have some tables here. Desktop. I should have loaded it. I have countries. I have employees. So let me load countries. Let me open countries. So I want to load the countries table. Hold on. I want to do, okay. Let me just load it. This bacha, maybe int. Expand it, that's okay. So create table countries. Bacha, maybe 20. Okay. And bacha. Country names can be so long. UNID is small int. So, so I put a comma here. Table has been created. Oh, let me drop it. Drop table countries. Yeah, I think I've dropped it. So I want to put it under my DB. Use my underscore DB. I'm going to go to table again. So I'll do a select star. Let me drop it again. Drop table countries. So I want to put a primary key here. So maybe I'm doing that. Okay. So I'm going to insert into this. Import records from external file under desktop. But this is going to take our time. I don't want to create new table, use existing table. My DB underscore countries. Next. 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 The central records imported. Finished. If I want to verify, I'll just the central record as this. If I do this, let's start from this now. So parameters. So the next one is to use the table, the employees table. So I'll just copy the header. Create table. Create table employees. Employee ID. What should I call it? Let me call it int. This is bacha. Int. Primary key. Bacha. Bacha. 50. Bacha. Bacha. Data also give it bacha. This might not follow the exact format, so I will just put it as bacha first. Job ID is still going to be, let me see. Job ID, bacha. So bacha is a 50. Salary, int. Salary, int. This one also, int. I'm having issue with this one. Let me see. This commission int. Can I use int? I use double. Then I think this int. I can use small int for them. So this I'm going to use so I think I have an error. Send higher date. Let me see what's okay. Bacha. That's one. So let's start from employees. So let me insert was from external table. Desktop, employees. Use a system table. Next. Unknown column. No. Include this. I can't start debugging all this. So let's not waste much of our time. So this is what I started. So we are using this. So here we say select employee ID, job ID from employees. Union select employee ID, job ID from job history. So what this is going to do is union doesn't append duplicates, just like appending a table from bottom. Yeah, I'm appending into employees table from the bottom using the job history. So you're selecting employee ID from our job ID, and now you have to know that the table you are selecting from, you have to have the same column. Look at, I selected 2 columns here. I also selected 2 columns here. So I'm appending 2 columns from here with 2 columns from here. So it does make sense. You can see it's matching. Employee ID matches with employee ID here. Job ID matches job ID. So I'm doing it. So wherever there's a duplicate, it doesn't append duplicates. Doesn't append. So that's union for you. You just append from the bottom. Union all. Now union all. This is union operator. You can see that there's no line like this intersect is not done. It has been cut off. Now but here union all, the intersect is there. It means what is common to A and B, still put it there. You know what is common to A and B? They are the same thing. But union all will still keep it. So it will be duplicate. So if you want it to return as it is in table A and table B, just join it for me. So it's just like, okay, in set A I have 1 to 5 or 1 to 6. In set B I have 4 to 10. Now in set A 4 to 6 is already there. In set B 4 to 6 is already there. But I use union all on A and B, is going to return 1 2 3 4 5 6, then 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So 4 5 6 in both table will be repeated 2 times. So that is union all for you. So that's what union all is going to do there. So as you can see here, this appeared 2 times. No, you can't call this a duplicate anyways, because this belongs to a separate department compared to this, so you can't call it a duplicate. But the point is that it's going to return duplicates. So intersect just returns what is common to both tables, as it is shaded in yellow here. Sorry, we probably won't be able to see this happen on the workbench. But let me see. I don't know what this is going to turn in the first place. I think this is the stuff I'm going to do. Maybe it was not even inserted anything there. I don't know why I'm having that error. I can't even read through the error. I I don't have the patience to go through the error. Let me see this repite. Let me see the full. Where could the error be coming from? Most likely from this commission or the LZ. So let me see again. Commission. Let me see that. Let me do up the table again. Let me do the table again and try. Please. So let me remove this from double and put CC. Let me select from the table. So let me try and start table. So I have to change this. I think this is what is selected before, countries instead of employees. Maybe I didn't notice. So I have to change this. You can see employee ID is matching with first name instead of it to match with employee ID. And this matches. This doesn't match. Email, phone number. Hire date is supposed to match with hire date. I wasn't too patient to wait and be doing all this. I think every other thing matches like this. So let's move on to next. I think 107 records was imported. Let me verify. 107, click correct. So let's start from employees. So we have this information here. That's good. Let me check my countries table because I went to go and do insert country table. I hope I've not inserted anyone. Okay, that's fine. So let me create table department. Create table. So let me import department table. Is the int virtual int. Primary key. Virtual. And this is maybe this int is too much for this guy, but let's just give it int. So let's start from it. So let's start from department. So let's start into it. Use the same table, change this one to department. You want to do that again. Department name, manager ID, division ID. If that makes sense. Finish. So Which table were we using under the set? I think we're using employee and job history. So let me create a job history table so that I complete job history. So let me create a job history table. So after created countries, I created countries, created. Let me create the job history. So I have this. Okay, I have this. This is int. I'll just call this batch int. Okay. Look at the batch chart. Then batch chart. Gotcha. So, I think okay, I've not mentioned correctly yet. Int. Okay. What did I do wrong? So create table, what? Create table job history, sorry. Created. Let's start from it. So let's start from job history. We have this. So I cannot just put, I cannot do this thing here. So let me go to edit. Job history. So browse job history. Next, using a stable job history. Okay. Employee ID start date, end date, job ID. Okay. Let's go. Okay. 10 records important. Is it 10 records that is there? Let's check again. Okay, 10 records. So you can do a select start from job history now. Select start from job history. Okay, good. So let's quickly go back to our slides again. Let me remove this. Remove this. So what is wrong again? Just hold on for my WPS to come up. This money God will speak to you in the name of Jesus. God will tell you how you go about your business. Will tell you how you go about your marriage, your home, and things will work for you in the name of Jesus. God told us dwell in this man, so God in this man, and will bless him. God will bless you in the name of Jesus. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Okay. Documents, books. Okay. I don't know. I can put my PowerPoint here. Okay, moving on. If that does not want to open. Okay, we have talked about joins, position products, supply. So set operators now. So we are here. So this intersects union or union. So let's duplicate this. Since we have already have this table in our database now. So let's run this. This is what you have. So you just union the employees table with the job history table. So it's going to give us those guys that you can see 101. Let me see. 101 was probably the maybe admin vice president before. No, let's see again. 101 was the accountant, or then maybe it moves to accountant manager. Their past, like their past work, their past job role before they finally became the vice president. So you're able to append from the bottom. This is not going to return duplicate value. This is not going to return duplicate value. But union all, if I put union all here, then you might have duplicate values. You might have duplicate values depending. So, but necessarily this might not have duplicate value, but the difference between union and union all is that union remove duplicate, union all does not. Union all does not. So that's the difference. So moving on. So let's look at, like we talk about union all, then intersects. Intersects just choose what is common. So let's see whether there's something actually common between these two. Okay, I think you can see what's common here, but let's go into our workbench. But there's no intersect operator in there's no intersect operator in this there's no intersect operator. So what do we do? 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 Since we can find intersect. So let me see. You can say, let me see whether I can use this trick. Where employee ID office sorry, not office, comma job ID. Hmm. I also to do a match with this guy, but it's no work. Let me check again. Maybe it will work. Let's check. Oh, perfect. So we have 200,176 AD assistant sales rep. What do we have in our slide? 200 AD assistant 176 sales rep. So you can see it's the same as those values. So you can use this logic to do intercept. So I just did like to find what is common to both of them. So this is a trick to do intercept. So we call it intercept in my SQL. That's brilliant. I can do it the other way around too. I can put job ID here and put employee here. It still sounds the same thing. You can say job history. You can put the job history table here. I come and put employees table here. It will and check what is common to put of them. As you can see. So that's the trick to find intercept in. You know, you don't have full outer join in SQL2. You can also there's also a trick to do full outer join in MySQL. So that's you can just remove this. Let's try and continue and see. Okay. Let's see minus operator. So let's see minus operator. So what minus operator does here is that okay, we're talking about intercept minus now. So I have select job ID, employee ID, job ID from employees minus select employee ID, comma job ID from job history. How many rows was it done? 18 rows. So what I want to do is that okay, the people that I want to manage the people that are here away from what are here. If I manage the information of those that are here and inside the job history table from what I have in the employees table. So what is left is going to be what is going to return. So what is left in the employees table after you have subtracted what you have in the job history table, then that gives you that result. So 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 what it means naturally is that what it means naturally is this. So let's see whether I can even do perform minus operator. I can use minus operator in the MySQL. I doubt. Let's see if I can use it. There is nothing like that. Let's even do a select star from employees. So let's start from employees. How many rows does this guy have? Not so many rows there. So let me just close this. It doesn't want to be useful for me. So so this has like 107 rows, if I can remember. So if I'm subtracting, so I want to subtract what is here, that is here. I want to subtract them. In essence, I'm still surprised why this returned. What we have here returned 18 rules, because if I'm doing a minus, it only does okay. What I find here that is here, remove it. So it just removes uh like what is common to both of them. So obviously it's going to return two. It's going to remove two rows from the employees table here. But me having 18 rows selected here, because if I should move two rows from 107, I should have 105. Maybe their employees table is now up to 107. So let's just perform the trick. So how can I do the minus? So what I'm going to do is that I'll now say okay, I want to remove the information here that's in the job history table from this away from this guy. So I'll call it trick to do find to use minus MySQL. I'll call it this. So I want to remove whatever that is here, that occurs here from the whatever that is inside the job history that occurs here. I need to remove it. So I'm going to say so I will say where, so I just have to replace this. I'm just going to write this where clause here, but what's going to be different is where this not in, then put this as a subquery. Where I can't find this in this, so these are the result I have here. So automatically this should give me like 105 results, because what's common to both of them is 2. What's common to both of them is 2 rows. So by the time we move 2 rows from 107 rows as in employees table, I should have 105. So how do I know how many rows I should return? Select count star. This. Okay, count star. Okay, let's do this. What's this saying? So I have to put this. Let me give this this derived table an alias, say e. Okay, let's count it the star. Is that not what I'm doing? So that's this from. I just give it. Oh, sorry. Not supposed to be here. E. So don't put E here. So let's count E the star. I think we should be okay like this now. But this one is just giving me unnecessary stress. So I'm supposed to know how many rows this guy returned. I want to sure of what it is done. It's not supposed to give me the number of nodes it's returned. Okay, so let me use the explain this. Dependence of query return, permanence of query return this. But in essence, it's going to return question is just saying that job history has then row returned. My primary query, which is this, returned 107 results. Okay, but that's how to use the minus operator. That's the trick we use. So moving on. Okay, we talk about minus operator. Okay, matching the select statement. Okay. Look at this. What are we doing here? We are to number null. Location, comma, and union, select department ID, location ID, to date, null. In this case, what we are trying to do is that, okay, I want to match department ID. I want to just union department ID and let's match department ID. Union it with union employees and department table. The employees table has department ID. The department table has department ID. But the employees table does not have location ID or stuff. So yeah, but I want to have location ID to the union, but I have to create a trick. So I just use to number. Okay, let me convert null to number. This is going to be a null. Then call that particular location, call that particular operation location. So you have created like a dummy column, which is called location, so that it can match with this. Because if this select statement does not have the same number of columns as this, you cannot use union, you cannot use the set operator. So I'm just trying to balance the two. So try to create a dummy location and union it with this, but this one is going to be null. Now, employees table has higher date, but department does not have higher date. So I have to use to date, call it null. So this is going to create a column in department table and call it to date null, which is just going to give us a number. So why I'm putting to number and to date is that now the location ID here is a number. So the location I'm trying to union to has to be a number. So but if two columns that are trying to union together, they are not of the same data type, then you might have an error. So let me explain what I'm trying to say. First of all, let me copy this. Here. What I'm saying. So let's come and do a union on this. Let me do a select star from replace table and use that union property. Where did I use union again? I used where did I use my union again? Okay, this space. Okay, not this space. Have I cancelled it? Let me go and pick it up. I don't know why I just moved that. So let me pick where I used union and stuff like that. So let me see this. Yes, for example, this. I think we have done this. Okay. So let me come here and put something like this one. You know they have the same thing. So let's say now I put salary here. No, salary and department. Still the same thing. So let me even look what is inside the job history so that I can look at something that will not match and join them together. Select. Okay, yes, good. I'll try and match job ID and department ID. So I remove this. Department ID here. And I'll put job ID here. Forget that it's because maybe this is job ID, this is department ID. It does not matter whether they have different column name. What it matters is that what it contains. So you can do any matching together. Whether it contains different column name, but this is going to take priority. The naming convention of this first term is going to take priority. But what must be inside the two table must have like the same data type. So in this case, job ID here has a varchar, but this is an integer. This is an integer, this is a varchar. So that's going to be the main reason why this union all operator, union of union all operator is not going to work. So let's go on this. It did work. Oh. It did work. Let me see again. So you can see here job ID. You can see department ID 80, 90 mixed with job ID. You can see department ID mixed with job ID 80. So you can see. So I think you can even use any kind of data type also. So there we're just trying to make a lot of sense. So you can union anything as long as they are the same column. But in this case, if you want to do insert, it's not going to work. So if I want to say insert into employees now, then insert this particular, maybe, okay, insert into employees using the employee ID, job ID, and department ID. And I want to insert in this order. Employee ID matches this, but department ID, the reason I won't be able to insert department ID into the job ID because department ID is an integer data type, but job ID is a varchar. So I can't insert an integer into a varchar. So it's not going to work but in this union, it's just like you're just doing, just putting something inside a basket. So it's just like you're putting something inside a basket. You have 3 baskets. So put this guy, but what I join together has to match. So put this guy, join this guy, join this guy with this guy, then join this guy, this guy. So there are three. But if I add another column here, say salary, this is not going to work out because now I have 4 columns here. But I'm union with 3 columns, so it's going to bring an error. So if I should run this, you can see I have an error here. So that's why I going to have an issue. So that's by the way. So let's go back to this. So what we are trying to do here is that, okay, I'm just trying to create, because I want to union department ID and location ID and hire date. But in department table, I don't have location ID. So I just create a null kind of stuff and give it location. Then I have hired this in employee, but I don't have hired this in department table. So I just have to create another column I called to date node so that they'll be able to form a matching. So this one is going to match with location ID. This one is going to match with hire date. Now, this naming convention is going to take priority, location, because it's the one at the top. It's not going to be a location ID, it's going to be location. So let's do this operation now. I have an error. What's the error? Okay, the number does not exist. I cannot do the number. I cannot even do the date. Oh, sorry. Sorry. How can I do this? I can just put null. That means I can just put null here. Then here, let me just put null here. I don't know why I can't. I don't know why I can't do that. Something like that. So I can just do this. So you can see here, this creates a null value column, call it location. Then this is hire date. So this is what the first. So the first thing you are going to see is what this first query return. Then underneath is going to join this second one. So let's see where this guy is joined. So this is where the employees will stop. Then you have this one appended at the bottom. You can see that this place is not because of this part. Then you have the location ID, then the department ID. You can see that it was the naming of this second column that worked in location. It didn't take location ID. So that is that. Okay. So one last thing, we're gonna go. Gonna meet next week again. So controlling the order of rows. So let's save as my dream. Create a dummy drawer. Union select. I would like to teach, comma, one a dummy from drawer. Union select the whole world to a dummy from drawer order by a dummy. So it's just like you are doing. You just want to append 3 strings like at the bottom. So I think we are done with this part. Next week we are going to talk about manipulating data. So let's try and perform that dummy of a thing here. You can say select like drawer union select SQL union union universities. Now, from the one. Now, if you run this query now, so union select. If you run this query now, I'm going to show you what's going to happen. I would like to teach SQL, but here it's gave. I like to teach. Maybe that's what I would like to teach. Here it gave. I would like to teach as the column. So if you want to change this, I can say as. Let's run this again. So my dream, I would like to teach SQL in universities. So that will be the end of today's class because we're going to meet the next class. Thanks for attending. Goodbye. So that'll be all.